You may be wondering what the holes are in your, say, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale, cauliflower, any of your what they call cruciferous vegetables, especially in wintertime. That's when we're in zone 9, we could grow them in the colder season. So sometimes it's hard to tell what the holes are. Sometimes it's snails, sometimes it's earwigs. Usually snails, you'll see a snail trail, and it'll be from the outside in. Earwigs will be little holes in the center of leaves, but if it's from your Brussels sprouts or your kale or your broccoli and it's larger holes or medium-sized holes in the center of your leaves or really big chunks taken out, good chance it's going to be the cabbage looper larvae or the cabbage white larvae. Now the cabbage white is that little white butterfly. It's flying around, and when it lays on, you might look at it and see, oh, look at it, it's pretty, it's landing on my plants. Well, what it's doing is it's laying eggs, and then the eggs turn into larvae and they will feed on your plants. Now, a little bit of damage is okay, but the problem is you don't know how many eggs are on your plant, and if you don't handle it right when you see it, sometimes they could eat the whole entire plant or definitely slow down the growth of the plant. Now, the cabbage looper is the larvae of a sort of brown moth, which isn't as noticeable as a white butterfly. It's not as pretty. That one does this little creeping motion like an inchworm. Now I'm going to show you what some of the damage could look like. So these are just some of the leaves. You could see a big chunk taken out of a leaf, a big hole taken out of a leaf. Now if you're still not sure, what you're going to want to do is turn it over, and a lot of times you could find the worms. Now remember, they blend in, they're green, and they're about maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches, so you do have to look. Sometimes it's more obvious to see their poo, which are fairly large black specks. Now if you do see them, you could simply hand pick them off and squish them. If you have chickens, feed them to your chickens. Hand pick them off, do it once a day. Or what is a really good control for them as organic control is BT. Now BT is a natural soil-borne bacteria. It's called bacillus. It's Bacillus thuringiensis. And if you spray it, you want to coat the whole entire plant. So I'm just going to spray the whole plant, right? If you could get on the underside of the leaves, great. Not necessary. But if you spray and coat the whole entire plant, what happens is the larvae, when they're eating the leaf, will ingest the BT. There's sort of a toxin inside of it that they can't digest, and it eats the larvae from inside. Doesn't sound very pretty, but it works, and it's safe to use on edibles, and it's safe to use around pets, and it's safe to use around other beneficial insects. It does break down over a few days, especially with rain, of course, and bright light, so you want to apply every few days. It does come also in a powder form. It's harder to find, but the sprays, you just coat the plant. And of course, they have to eat a little bit, so you might see some damage, but generally that takes care of it. And also, remember, some of this stuff is temporary. You might see these butterflies come in, and they might lay their eggs, and then that may be it. But they really do like all the winter vegetables here in zone 9, and sometimes they can wreak havoc and it could cause the plant to slow down. So I do recommend using the BT, and keep an eye out for those green worms. Hopefully that helps you.